We would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we meet today and pay our respects to the elders past, present and emerging. G'day, I'm Shell.
Kia ora, I'm Lou.
And welcome to Xena Warrior Nutballs. We have got a great episode. It is makeup artist extraordinaire, Tracey Henton.
Yes, Tracey. Magnificent, beautiful, awe-inspiring Henton. I don't know what your vibe on her energy was, but my vibe read was that she was like a nice glass of red wine by the beach. She was just...
Yeah.
The chillest, nicest person.
I feel like she'd be more of a cocktail.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I feel that.
Like a Long Island iced tea.
Yeah, so she was a makeup artist on seasons 5 and season 6.
Right.
So she comes in for the last 2 seasons of the show. Actually, I think it would be really helpful because when I hear the word makeup artist on a set, I'll be honest, I'm not in this industry. I'm not fully across some of this terminology. And
what do you think of, Lou? What do you...
Okay, look, I'll be honest. I'm like, Lucy Laws is so beautiful. What do they have to do? Do they just tizzy her up with a bit of like mascara and send her on her way? Like what? Like, you know?
Slap some lippy on.
That mauve lippy.
No, makeup artists are like far out, man. They do special effects, they do wounds, they do blood. They also make everybody look incredible and beautiful, but also they make people look dying in the desert and freezing cold in ice coffins. It's everything. They do so much more than just lippy and a bit of hairspray.
How Tracey talks about it blew my mind because it's not just painting a beautiful face and sending them out there for their close-ups. It is this full character work. Like it's full work that is like helping us to understand the story and follow these complex narratives.
Well, just look at the cannibals.
Yes.
Like how badass are they with all their full-on makeup and teeth and like the special effects that would go into that is just full artistry. And yeah, we got to mention it's before all that CGI bullshit came in. So it's real like artistry and these guys really learning and loving their craft.
Absolutely amazing. Such high skill.
Oh, and so she was makeup artist for Adrian Wilkinson.
Yes.
And Alexandra Tidings.
Aphrodite.
Fan fave. And a whole bunch of other people.
Yeah.
And something I'm really excited about.
Oh.
This to me is like gold. This is like the nectar of the gods information right here. Guys, Xenites, we get the recipe for the fake blood that was used on Xena.
Oh, so good.
Yes.
Oh my God. So amazing that she can just remember that.
Totally just nerding out when she told me that. Oh.
Something I would love for us to talk about though is Tracey Henton has one of the most beautiful IMDb pages I've ever seen in my life. Oh. She's been involved in some amazing projects.
Yes, stellar career.
Oh, stellar career. So after Xena, she spent actually a bunch of time in LA. And when you look at her IMDb, you can really see this. My goodness.
It's biblical. It's massive.
Yeah, she's worked on The Orville, Twin Peaks. She worked on Sons of Anarchy. She worked on Iron Man. She worked on Space Jam and New Legacy.
Oh.
She's bloody well Little Woman with director Greta Gerwig, the one and only Barbie director.
And she even mentions that Greta would be perfect for our fandom, for the Xeniverse.
Can you imagine?
Oh, yeah.
So cool. And of course she worked on Shortland Street.
Oh, of course she worked on Shortland Street. And she's such a cool person, hey? Really cool.
Yeah, no, totally. One thing that I really loved was hearing about, as a New Zealander, down in the bottom end of the Southern Hemisphere, how exciting it was, how thrilling it was to have all these cool Americans coming down and being on the show, you know, like week in and week out and getting to work with them, and how much of like a bit of an Americanophile she is. I loved that. It was so cool.
Yeah, pretty cool. I am too. I would be. Oh, wow. Wow. Just think back then. Little old New Zealand just gets changed into like a miniature Hollywood.
So cool. And all these like people with these different ideas and these exciting, I don't know, just like, it would just be so, what a wonderful time to be part of it.
What a buzz.
Shao, one of the coolest parts of this conversation though for me had to be when you got the chance to show her some of your one-off behind the scenes continuity Polaroids.
I know. That was a real fangirling moment for me. And just to be able to show her those was just like, I think it got all very fangirly, didn't it? So apologies, because the listeners are probably going, what the fuck are they even talking about? But Tracey has kindly shared those Polaroids with us. So go over to our socials and we'll be posting them there. It is never before seen behind the scenes Xena Polaroids.
Yeah. And so these are like photos that she's using in the moment, in action, to like make sure that, so when she's taking photos of the makeup, she's able to then keep that continuity for that episode, for those days throughout it. So she's got them clipped onto her belt and using them. And so they're an actual tool of the trade, which I didn't really know much about. It's so cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. I don't think they'd use them anymore. I don't think it's a thing. But
no, well, iPhones, right?
Yeah, that's, and iPads and all sorts of stuff. But I got hold of a couple of them and they really are magical. They've got like notes written on them. They've still got the hole punched in them. They're just so cool. And to think that you've got something that was used on set.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, pretty cool.
So special. Yeah. So cool. Yeah. Everyone go take a look at them. They're amazing. They really highlight the high level of work and skill that it takes to upkeep these incredible makeup looks that she's able to achieve for us.
She even shared like the shade of suntan. Yeah, which is pretty cool.
One of my favorite things that occurred in that entire interview, though, was actually before we hit the button record. When we got on this call and Tracey looked us both dead in the eye, smiling sweetly, and said, "What the fuck are your guys' excuses for this madness?" Like,
I know. It was so funny. We start our podcast and it's a visual thing. So we're on Zoom.
Yes.
We're looking at each other. Yeah. Lou's got like Bethel's Beach behind her. I have like fan stuff behind me. I've got like swords and sais and posters of like Callisto and Gabrielle and Xena. So we look like just hardcore nutballs, and that's what we are.
That is what we are. And we thank our mother Lucy Lawless for our name.
Yeah. Our mother Lucy Lawless.
Our mother. We are way too far into this to have not explained what a hardcore nutball is to the audience, if we haven't already.
Yeah, it's a bit late.
So Lucy Lawless has dubbed all of us, the ones that have like really embraced, the Xenites that have gone
hardcore.
The ones that have gone hardcore. She's dubbed us affectionately hardcore nutballs.
She has.
And that's why we've imbued it into our title. So it's an ode to...
Yeah, so it's an ode to Lucy Lawless. That's right. I don't believe that Xenites are just Xena fans. I think we're all hardcore nutballs. I think when you become a fan of Xena, you go all in. Wouldn't you agree?
I definitely think that it is a show that it invites you into that, for sure. It invites you to be part of its whānau. It invites you to be part of the family, yeah?
There must be a spell woven into it.
Yeah, Ulti probably
She
did.
That. This is a fucking Ulti spell. Ulti wouldn't want Xena to continue. It must be. It's a Callisto. It was when Callisto grew her wings.
Okay, let's get back on track to Tracey. You know what? Tracey, she's got much better comedy timing than I do, so why don't we just leave it to her, yeah?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Dun, 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 dun. It is with hardcore nutball pleasure to welcome the sublime, the glorious makeup extraordinaire, Tracey Henton. Hello and welcome to our podcast.
Kia ora, Tracey.
Hi, it's so great to be here.
So Tracey, our first question, would you be able to take us back to the very beginning and tell us how you landed the gig as makeup artist on Xena Warrior Princess?
I can tell you what I remember. Some of the lanes into my memory are kind of hazy. So I would have been hired on Xena. I did season 5 and 6, so I would have been hired at the beginning of season 5. And I think at that time, New Zealand was a very small industry. I'd been doing makeup for maybe 4-5 years tops. I'd done training in Australia.
Oh, cool.
Then I bounced back to New Zealand. My first job was on our local soap opera, Shortland Street.
Yes.
So there was a lot of sort of connection between industry people because it was small. So in the interim time, I only worked on Shortland Street for 1 year. And then in the interim, I'd done a couple of mini-series. I remember doing a film for Miramax called Heaven. So I would have just known people who recommended me to the Xena crew. And I was there season 5 and 6. I would have been the last sort of permanent hire. There was 5 full-time makeup artists on the show.
Yep.
There was an HOD. Lucy and Renee had their own personals. And then there was another 2 of us that did, you know, the guests that flowed through on a weekly basis or per episode.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would have been the last full-time hire. We had a change of HOD while I was there. Frances Meets was the head of department when I was there. And then Jane O'Kane came in. So yeah, I felt fresh. I was only like 4 or 5 years into my career.
Yeah.
And it was really the first sort of like long form, permanent, I've got a gig that can, you know, pay my bills and allow me to buy cool furniture type show. So, and that way it was kind of like, it was kind of life changing in that way. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, especially to land Xena Warrior Princess as one of your first big gigs that's amazing.
Yeah, there was a funny conflict actually, and I don't remember if this was right at the beginning or this was beginning of season 6. I think it might have been right at the beginning. That was when Lord of the Rings was kicking off. And I did have this sort of mental conflict about whether to move to Wellington and join that, which was, you know, we didn't really know in those days how monumental that was going to be.
Yeah.
But because of the scope of it, like literally every crew person in New Zealand could have been involved in Lord of the Rings. And I chose to stay because I'd obviously had this job offer at Xena, and I wanted to be in Auckland and stay with my family and the relationship that I was in at that time. So I chose not to sort of pursue anything in Wellington. So I always kind of joke that I'm the only Kiwi that's never
hasn't worked on
because it's what I got asked about the most when I was in Los Angeles.
Really?
And traveling.
Lord of the Rings still.
Yeah, because pretty much every actor I work with, even right up until the end of my career, I was working with people who, even if they weren't from New Zealand, they had worked on Lord of the Rings in some capacity. It was really
huge.
Wow.
It was massive. So that was the beginning of my Xena days. Yeah. So that would have been 1999 and 2000, I think, was our last year.
Wow.
Cool season to come into too, because budget was bigger. It was coming towards the end as well, and they were doing all this crazy shit. So
yeah, I guess so. I mean, I didn't have a lot to compare it to. I would have done casual days on Hercules for sure, and that might have been one of my ins into the Xena crew. But I don't remember doing any casual days on Xena before then, but I could have done. I don't know. They did sort of blend in, you know, swapping in costumes and villages and sets and
yeah, cool. I love that.
Tracey, are you able to describe for us kind of a day in the life of being a hairstylist and makeup artist on the set of Xena Warrior Princess?
I can. A day in a life, it was a big deal. It was a lot of work, but in a kind of fun way.
Mm-hmm.
It was the first time that we'd really gotten accustomed to working 12-hour days.
Mm-hmm.
The standard in New Zealand really is a 10-hour day.
Mm-hmm.
And Xena and Hercules, because they were American productions, they extended those hours. So 12-hour days were a big deal. And we were always shooting out west of Auckland City, particularly on the west coast. We did a lot of stuff on the west coast beaches, Riverhead Forest. So that in itself is a 35 to 45-minute drive out of the city, always very, very early. We were busy. We were a busy makeup department. We weren't just fronting up with casual day looks. There was a lot of character work. There was a lot of wigs. There was a lot of hairstyling. There was a lot of special effects, or sort of our version of special effects, which we can tap into that a bit later.
Yes, please.
And it was fast, meaning that every episode brought new characters and new actors coming down from the States. And I remember that being one of the most exciting aspects of the job, is that every time, I don't remember how long we spent on an episode. I'd be guessing if I said 10 days, but I'm sure you've talked to other crew people that probably have that statistic a little more accurate.
Yeah, about a week.
Every episode there was guest stars coming down from America, and that was just so fun for us. It was fun for me. I probably can't speak for everybody, but I love the fact that people were coming in from in different countries, and
Mm.
they would come in with their accents and their stories and
Cool.
playing characters that were always very outside of themselves. And, you know, I can tell now looking back on, you know, 30 years in the industry and also having spent a lot of that time in the States, what it's like to be an actor, just sort of picking yourself up and going to this quote unquote magical land and playing a very sort of mythical, slightly campy character.
Yeah.
It was fun. You know, everybody that was filming was having fun. And so that really, it contributed a lot to the culture of the show, and it upped the camaraderie, and it kept the levity in the makeup trailer. Because it was hard work. Working in New Zealand is challenging. You've got to sort of want to be out in the elements, and you've got to be a little bit tough to want to do that sort of stuff here. So there was hard parts to it, but the cast and the storylines just made it a lot of fun for us.
That's so cool. Anyone that's worked on Xena says it was really bloody hard work.
Yeah.
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
It's always this, it's like that answer. It's just,
I mean, I do remember falling asleep in corners sometimes. And I still joke about that with like, I mean, I don't see Jane okay very often, but I have seen her from time to time over the years, and you would remember me falling asleep sometimes in corners.
Hopefully in a shady spot.
I remember it being wet and damp more than hot and sticky.
Oh, wow.
And it was also the first time that I'd worked on in big purpose-made makeup trailers, or trucks as they here. We don't really have trailers here. Because previous to that in New Zealand, we were all, you know, a typical makeup trailer would be an old converted bus.
Yeah.
Things like that. So it was sort of my first experience of actually having a physical work environment that I kind of enjoyed. It felt good, you know. Yeah, it was spacious and it felt fancy. Yeah, it did. Even though we had no sound stages, our trailer was great.
So good. Tracey, I was wondering, was there any particular direction you were giving for the makeup look and feel when you were working as Xena Warrior Princess coming in on season 5?
I don't remember being specifically given a look and direction for hair and makeup. A lot of it would have been really predetermined, I think, by the beginning of the show. And I think the whole show, it was really the same producers. There was sort of this lean towards like tans, boobs, and big hair, which sort of sounds a bit like 80s trailer park, which wasn't what we were going for. But if I could sum it up in a nutshell,
it was those three things.
That's what I remember. And a lot of that. Yeah.
Hey, look, that's what we remember too.
Tans, boobs, and big hair.
You could have like not a lot of those costume girls could turn an A cup into something monumental.
Yeah.
Gee, that's amazing.
And I don't know if this was ever written down anywhere at the beginning of the show, but that was you were not to have a flat chest on that show.
Wow.
And not to be white.
Yeah.
It was really interesting. And I don't know where that sort of tanning, I don't know, it was just a look that the producers want to put on screen. I don't know whether it was to do with their film grading or they, you know, as I said, we never saw the show on television. We weren't going home and seeing the work that we'd done. I just arrived and there was our body makeup.
Yes.
Aura 005, if anybody wants to track that down.
Noted.
Kind of like an orange tan color. And that was it. Everybody got that. Adrienne reminded me of this very funny story about when she came in for testing. I did her look. We designed this crazy big hairpiece for her. How the fuck I kept that on through all her stunts, I didn't know. I learned. I got a lot of skills on Xena that I did not have going in. I can tell you that. And we did a makeup look, and she was just Livia. Eve came along later. But we'd only done, for brevity of time, we'd only sort of done half the body wash or something. And we heard for Rob, because I think he had to approve all the makeup looks. I remember it. She told, I didn't remember this, but she told me this last week. She said he just looked like sort of very blank and kind of quizzical, and we found out later that we thought she had vitiligo because I only body washed like half of her. And Adrienne is she's very pale. She takes care of her skin and stays out of the sun, so she was very, very white. And that color that we used, man, it was very sort of
bronzy. Yeah,
it was super bronzy. Yeah, and we went to town on it. So
I loved Livia's look. Livia is such a cool look, like such a badass warrior.
She was a fun character, a super fun character. Yeah,
I bet. So with the wigs and things, were you using like bobby pins, or were you literally gluing things to her head? Was it gaffer tape?
Because we used her hair. I can't remember how long her hair was then because I don't have any pictures of her. We used her hair and pulled it back and then put a piece on top of it. So no, there was no gluing. She didn't have a full wig.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And that would have been because we didn't really have the budget for those sort of wigs, I don't think. You know, those high quality sort of lace front, very looking wigs.
Yeah.
And there just wasn't a lot of that stuff available in New Zealand. So we were working with, you know, what we had, what we could get our hands on. And back in those days, you know, I hadn't done any department heading or anything. So I didn't have any clue about budgets or anything like that. I'm just like, here's your stuff. I think I remember us all getting a kit.
Oh, wow.
So we sort of had matching, you know, we could open our drawer and all sort of have the same products in there. But there wasn't a lot of makeup available in those days, not professional brands.
Yeah, okay. Just a question with the body wash. Like, did you spray paint the actors, or was it like an actual wash? Because I recently went for like headshots, and I haven't had headshots in like 15 years, right? Yeah. And the woman spray painted my face. She says, I'm just going to do the foundation. I was like, great, I'm going to kick back. And she's like, just shut your eyes, just went, and that was it. And I was like, when did that technology come in? That was amazing. I was like
yeah, there was no, I did a lot of airbrushing later in my career. It didn't really become a thing until it was maybe coming in around the late 90s. I remember a very good friend and mentor of mine went overseas and did some airbrush training.
Oh, wow.
I didn't really adopt it into my personal kit and way of working until I went to Los Angeles in 2005. So when we were body washing back in those days, we were doing liquid body wash and sea sponges.
Wow.
So I used to go into Adrian's trailer. Adrian would come in to the makeup trailer, have her hair and makeup done. And then she would go back to her trailer, which was a little camper van, maybe with a little fan heater in it. And it was freezing. I always remember it being freezing. I don't know whether that's just because I'm wildly temperature sensitive, but it was probably always really early in the morning. It was probably or 6 a.m. And I would go into her trailer and she would just have to strip down and I'd paint her whole body because she didn't wear you know, everything had to be skin exposure.
So it would have taken quite a while.
It's no wonder we became good friends because it wasn't we were just standing there and she'd just stand there naked and be painted with a sea sponge every morning. You know, it was like
Jesus.
It was a time. And they just it seemed normal. We just sort of got into it and did it. But that's how we were doing the body washing. It must have been quite a good product because it did stay on.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, there was no airbrushing in those days. It was too early. Yeah, there was a lot of products we didn't really have in those days. The ink palettes and all of those things started coming out as we were working. But
that's amazing to hear.
Yeah, it's really a thing. I'm actually just having a garage sale on a couple of weekends to get rid of the last of my kit, and there's a lot of effects and sort of stuff that can be used for Halloween.
Oh, cool.
But I still do have a lot of Visiora foundations, and I have all the bobby pins and stuff that I got from Xena, and I just haven't touched any of those things for like decades almost. But I did carry around those bottles of Visiora body wash probably until I left Los Angeles. Wow. They got thrown out. I thought, you know, maybe a day, there'll be a time.
You might need it. Yeah.
There'll be a shoot. Never.
Cool. So were you working like, would you be wearing like your belt and stuff and having your kit and cruising around the set in between takes? Or was it more of like a morning thing and then like work in the afternoon, or was it how? Yeah.
We were on set all the time. So typically we do our person, our character or characters. And we also had a lot of people come in and help, you know, for the big crowd scenes and things. Definitely, you know, always more than 5 of us there on the day, the 5 full-timers. But, you know, if I was doing Adrian, for example, I'd get her look done and I would stay with her all day to make sure that bloody hairpiece didn't come off and didn't have white patches under the arms. And
I love that. That is so fascinating.
Stunts. And so we would stay, when our actors were on set, we were on set, and we would only have a break if they were off set, which I don't remember there being many breaks on Xena. It was busy.
Yeah.
No wonder you're napping in the corner occasionally. Bloody hell.
Yeah.
It's full on, mate.
Yeah. And then there's a lot of cleanup too at the end of the day, which made the days very, very long because there's hair take off and all of that sort of stuff.
Makeup and cleaning stuff and
Yeah, but I do have some fun photos of just like the end of the day in the trailer and 3, 4 or 5 guest casts in there, and everyone was just having fun and shooting shit and telling stories. And yeah, there was a lot of humor. Yeah, and the regulars were great. Adrian and Ted Raimi, he was the funniest person I could. We had so much fun with him when he was in it. And coming down to New Zealand, we were all gleeful. He was very humorous.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you have a favourite episode you worked on in relation to makeup?
I think I don't remember a lot of the episodes, but I do remember and loved Married with Fish Sticks.
Yes! Wow. Great choice.
Very colourful.
Yeah, and that's why I loved it. Yeah. It was like a Barbie movie on crack.
Yes.
Even though there hadn't been a Barbie movie by then, but I think I loved it for that reason.
Yeah.
The colour and the pool and the sort of cartoony costumes. And I just had a quick look. There's pictures on very bad quality pictures on IMDb, but we'd gone like very over the board with the hair and the wig.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
You know, if Aphrodite had hair like this, that episode, it was up here, you know, like the higher the hair, the closer to God. Women in Texas like to say. So that episode, it was a lot of fun for me. There was actors that I'd worked with in Shortland Street on that episode. It was fun. It was quirky. It was cartoony.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, I loved it. A lot of the others, I think why I don't remember them as much is because they all blended in. Uh-huh. We were in the wrist and there was stunts and it was, you know, the background didn't change a lot, even if the storylines did. So, yeah, Married with Fish Sticks really stood out for me.
I love that answer.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yep. If anyone hasn't seen it, Rob Tappett's described it as a live-action Simpsons meeting the Flintstones.
Yeah. It's truly like that.
Yes.
I like your one better, though.
Barbie movie on crack.
Barbie movie on crack. Greta Gerwig, we should get her on board. She'd love it. Next version.
Yeah. I mean, she'd be a shoo-in for a remake, right?
In my wildest Xena fantasy.
Could you imagine?
So, Tracey, you've mentioned a couple of times your close relationship with Adrian Wilkinson, which is really cool. I was hoping to ask you a specific question about a look that you actually did on her. So in season 5, episode 22, Motherhood, there's this like scene where she's wandering through the desert and she's got this really severe makeup, like peeling lips, bruised face, scratches, all that sort of stuff. How'd you go about achieving that?
I remember that episode really well, Motherhood, because it was very, very harsh shooting conditions. We were out at the beach and not for all of it, but those scenes where Adrian was wandering in the desert, I've got some great pictures of her where she's just sort of coated in black sand and gunk, and that was just what was happening in real life. I wasn't out there trying to put sand on her. It was just, we were in the elements, and the elements were like layering up her makeup look.
Oh, how interesting.
But as I mentioned before, we didn't have a lot of fancy products. So all of that makeup would have been done with old-fashioned latex and grease paint. The darkening under the eyes, the scabbing up of the lips would have been with latex and coloured paints. And yes, she did look terrible, and I loved it because she was really into it.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
She was really, really into it. That's one of the reasons why I loved working with Adrienne, because she was just up for anything. She didn't care about looking glamorous on screen. She just wanted to be her character, and I would make her look terrible, and she's like, yeah, I fucking love it. Let's do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
What a legend.
Yeah, she was a real good starter for stuff like that. And it made it fun because you weren't sort of fighting against the person you're working with. So, so all that stuff on her and then putting ourselves in that natural environment, which was very harsh. Yeah, it actually contributed and really helped to that look. And we probably had to recreate it over a couple of days, I would imagine. But
because Adrian's obviously absolutely incredible, undeniable, but your makeup skills, that look, those peeling lips make me clutch at my chapstick so desperately still.
Well, there's an advert for chapstick.
It's true.
So good. So talented, Tracey.
So did you carry around those little Polaroid sort of little things for like continuity and Great. I've got some here. I need to show you just quickly. Now I don't know if these are I don't think these are makeup ones. I think these are continuity ones, but similar to these.
The same hole punched in the corner. I recognize what camera that is. I had a Spectra Polaroid.
Wow.
Did we have our own cameras? Did we get them from production? I definitely ended up with my own camera. Like I remember I'd go to a show and I'd be like, I've got this type of Polaroid, so please order this type of film.
Right, yeah.
And the production people would, I could hear them, not hear them, but there was this sort of expectation that we could have all the Polaroid film we wanted. And then I look back at my Polaroid collection and a lot of them were just, you know, us having parties in the pickup trailer and trying on wigs. And like, no wonder they hated our Polaroid budget. Like, I've got a whole wall downstairs of us just like fucking around with the Polaroid. The production people must have rolled their eyes every time we put in another order for Polaroid film. But yes, to answer your question, we all had Polaroid cameras, and that's how we did continuity. We punched a hole in the corner and put a little ring and carried it, and we're flipping through.
Amazing.
How they were good for makeup, I have no idea, because they're all out of focus. They're like that, you know, this filter that came out on Instagram that just put a sort of blur over things.
They're so cool, and they're really sought after because they're one-offs.
Yeah.
Fans just love this stuff, like the Xenites. Like, I don't think you even get, when you find them on eBay, everyone bids on them. So,
well, I gave most of my collection to Adrian, who used to auction them off. She did an auction. We used to have a charity auction every year. And she would auction off a lot of photos. I've got a few. I've got my favorite one of Adrian and the makeup, which is my favorite.
Oh, no way. That's of Livia. That's her Roman white makeup face. Is that the one in her first episode, Livia?
Yeah, that's Livia.
Yeah, the Bacchanalia. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool, man.
Yeah.
And this is,
beautiful.
I don't remember, you girls know that than I do.
Wow.
Yes, a friend in
That's
need.
Miyuki, the one with the anklet.
Was there just one episode that was with the geisha girls?
Two. It was last 2 episodes.
Yeah. I love those. We had such fun with that makeup.
Oh, dude, I've got to show you why we're here.
Where did you get that from?
Okay, I think I need to continue to try being some sort of eyes for the audience. Are you holding up some sort of cannibal weapon from the show, Shao?
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's a cannibal's weapon. It's a skull on a stick. It's true.
That episode was so intense.
Well, we were just talking about that earlier, saying how hard that would have been on the actors, that episode, especially poor Renee O'Connor, like getting sort of cooked over a barbecue.
So we're talking about The Abyss, season
Thank
6,
you, Lou.
episode 6, just to give context.
No, that's
Sorry,
good to say
Shao, I
that. Yeah,
interrupted
because
you.
that was
Carry
actually
on.
one of my next questions. Nice little segue. Are you able to tell us how you approached that makeup on that one? Because that's just, that whole episode is next level. The cannibals and, yeah.
In every way, just very intense.
In every way.
And I just pulled up some pictures online and remembered it's a very dark episode. It's very intense and it go through so much. And there was also, I feel like everyone was underwater and it was very wet. And but the cannibals, I've got to say, I mean, it's interesting that that's one of the few Polaroids that I've ended up with because I love that picture.
So cool.
So that cannibal makeup would have been designed by our head of department at that time, which was Jane O'Kane. And I don't remember, you probably have a better idea of how many cannibals were in the episode. Was it like...
There was a fair few, there was a big family.
Yeah, it was a whole gang.
Yeah, so we had a look that we had to do for all of them. So we would have mixed up a special sort of hair mud, I would say, get all through their hair. And then we bought like the black grease paint, sort of down around the hairline, and we would have darkened their eyes out. We probably also made, because we made a lot of our own stuff on Xena, we probably made a mouthwash to stain their teeth.
Yes, that's so interesting.
They may have had teeth made.
They had some sort of effect on their teeth that made it look like they were almost sharpened into points, or their teeth.
I think they may have had teeth made. If I saw the episode, I could probably tell you. I can't tell from this photo. And the reason that jogs my memory a little bit is that I have a real phobia about working with things in people's mouths. So if I had, and whenever actors wear any sort of mouth prosthetic, or you have to carry them, they're taking them in and out, and you have to carry them around the little dental so your face right now.
Yeah, no, I'm not into that either. That really freaks me out. That makes me want to gag.
That was like my worst nightmare on set. There's most other things I would rather do than deal with things coming in and out of people's mouths. And I have a feeling that was one of my first experiences of having to take care of, like a dead piece. Yeah. But it was a fun look, really fun look. So, and the mud, I think, was all up their arms, and we would have got fingernail dirt and all that sort of
Yeah, such a badass looking episode. I would have loved to have acted in that episode. Just it seems so
Yeah,
fun.
yeah, it was very cool. I would certainly watch that episode again. I would watch Married with Fish Sticks. I would watch Motherhood. Those are probably episodes that really stand out for me.
So I guess this next question, you might have actually answered it, but what was the most complicated episode you remember doing for hair and makeup?
You know, nothing really jumps out at me. And that's not to say that there wasn't anything complicated going on. They perhaps all were, or I've blocked it out as a sort of
Trauma response.
Trauma response. Anything where I was standing in the rain would fall into that category.
Oh, bugger. Yeah.
Yeah, nothing sort of stands out for me. Yeah, they all sort of had their ups and downs. And I do remember a very big fail that I had early on in my Xena journey was having a wig fly off a stunt person when they were doing a horse. Do you remember there being a horse involved? We had a lot of horses. I hadn't really had a lot of experience with wigs and things like that up until point. And I tell you what, when you have a wig fly off mid-shot, it never happens again. You learn how to get that motherfucker on. And short of nailing it in,
that comes to super glue.
So the girls were great. I think Barb or someone took me aside and said, "This is how we do it."
Yeah.
You make these little anchor points and then you put rubber bands around them and then you sort of lynch things into the rubber bands.
Oh.
Then they never come off. So that's how I learned.
Wow.
Man, that's so technical.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, there's a certain sort of, you can still feel it in my body now.
Yep.
When you have a stunt person doing something with a wig on,
it's like, fuck, don't fall off.
Yeah. I had someone jump out of a plane with a wig off once and it didn't come off, and I credit those skills to what I learned on Xena.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's outstanding. What a friggin' credit. That's amazing. Well, actually, kind of saying that, I'm wondering, bit of a segue to being a Kiwi woman in the 90s, getting to do makeup on this unapologetically feminist show set in New Zealand alongside a bunch of cool women like you're describing. What was it like for you to do that?
That's a really interesting question. I loved that you sent that through because at the time I just wasn't aware of that sort of, not political, but those sort of cultural overtones of what we were doing. I just wasn't super aware of them. We were just making television.
Yeah.
Most of us on that show were just super excited to be making a living, doing a creative thing that was fun and a bit weird and quirky. And we knew that it had an international audience. But as I said, we didn't see the show. So we're like, we don't know who's watching this mythical quest with our tanned ladies and demons. But people are loving it. You know, maybe it was about normal for me to have a show where there was all these badass women. I didn't put it into any particular context at that time. But for crew people at that, you know, in that time in the industry, and probably still now, to be honest, there's a lot of survival. You know, a lot of your energy is taken up surviving in a difficult industry. And it's hard to sort of zoom out and see the bigger picture sometimes of what you're doing. Other people call that out and say, you're doing this cool thing.
Yeah.
It's a nice thing to look back on and understand what that was and what it meant to a lot of people and how it sort of fit into the cultural zeitgeist of the time. It's actually really, it's a really nice thing to look back on that, even if we weren't particularly aware of it at the time that we were shooting.
And that is so understandable. Like when you're in it and what you're describing, like these 12-hour days in the thick of it, like working so hard.
Yeah.
Probably no weekends, probably, you know, whatever. You're doing the real hard yakka of it all. It's totally understandable that kind of it takes time to be able to see the cultural legacy, but it's massive. Like this is such a massive show.
Yeah.
It was so important. And not just the feminist aspect, also for us queer people, that subtext aspect. And I was wondering whether there was any, were you guys like aware of that being the crew on set? Was that like anything, was it similar kind of vibes? You were working in it and it wasn't until post that you actually understood the legacy it had?
It really wasn't until post.
Yeah.
We were aware maybe of conversations that were happening, but they seemed far away.
Yeah.
Not relevant to what we're doing. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean and like we needed to make the show, and that's what crew people do. They're making television and delivering a product every day. You know, if you've been on a film set, you know how many worker bees it takes to make a product, and we're all very, very involved in what we're doing. And yeah, we don't often see the bigger picture. And I really don't think I had a concept of the implications for the queer community until I was living in Los Angeles, and I actually went to one of the convention events with Adrian.
Oh, that's amazing.
Got to experience what that fan base in Burbank. But I met a lot of the people, and I could see that was the first time I really saw what it meant to a lot of people and the impact that it had on people. To answer one of the questions that you haven't asked yet, there should be a reboot. 100%. It should be.
Yes, Tracey.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that because I want a job. I don't.
You'd have to. You'd have to work on it.
Obviously, Tracey has to be head of the makeup.
You got to work on it, man.
Yeah.
If Adrian was there, I would do it for her. But
yes, so we have to have Adrian as well.
So you weren't getting any like direction to be like, Tracey, you've got to go and look up artist impressions of Sappho and bring that makeup style into Xena Warrior Princess, were you?
No, not at all. Really, I mean, I joked about that sort of park makeup look before, but really what we were doing was very sort of contemporary fashion makeup for that time, for the late 90s, like Xena and Gabrielle, you know, definitely at the end in seasons 5 and 6. I can't speak to their earlier looks. But really, they just had sort of very subdued, of the time, natural fashion looks. We only leant into the more extravagant things for characters like Married with Fish Sticks and the geisha episodes, and anything that called for flamboyance and trickery and all that sort of stuff.
Yes,
we weren't shy about leaning in, but Lucy and Renee, it was fairly contemporary. There was a lot of brown lipstick. So that was obvious. Does anyone remember the colour Chelsea MAC lipstick? No. I was obsessed with it, and it's really sort of like a
mauve?
No, it's just like a poo brown colour.
Oh, wow.
I used to have people buy it for me when they were travelling. But yeah, I was looking in the snapshots I took just recently of episodes. It really leant into those sort of mauvey brown sort of lipsticks, and that was all much of the time.
Totally. Total 90s, hey?
Yeah. And I did see an episode I'd done with Adrian, and she had this sort of bright, sort of more cherry-ish red lipstick on, and I was just laughing at us and myself. I'm like, where would she have got that in Rome? Like, we didn't think that
blood
was...
of her enemies.
Seriously. She drinks it, so why not put it on her?
What was Livia doing that morning when she got up?
Eating hearts.
I think I'm going to have a change of lip today.
Do you have any favourite Lucy Lawless, Xena memories, like Renee O'Connor or any of those two stars?
I mean, this sounds kind of boring, but they were just nice people to work with. So I don't have a specific answer to that question. Nothing sort of stands out for me because they were just nice, no drama actors to have on screen. And at that time, maybe I didn't even realize how great that was. I was just, it seemed normal.
Yeah, wow.
As I said before, we loved it when Ted came. He was just so funny. He told us a lot of very hilarious stories. But I do remember sitting around on the back of trailers and things and having him tell tales. And
brilliant.
Yeah. And Kevin Smith was just an absolute delight to work with. Just a delight.
That's so cool to say. Do you have any particular Kevin Smith stories or doing his makeup or anything?
I don't think I did his makeup. I just remember his cheekbones. He just really cut those in with that bronzer, man.
He's a beautiful looking man, hey? He was just...
He really was.
Sensational. He's an Adonis.
Yeah, he was. He was the god. He was the god of war, but yeah, he was. He was godlike in his stature, and but yeah, he's just such a lovely man.
So did you keep anything from the set other than the Polaroids that you showed us?
No, I didn't. I remember there being a bit of a sale of things.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
And I, like rugs, and I didn't buy any of those sorts of things. I kept my kit, obviously. I've still got a lot of bobby pins and stuff downstairs, which I've never really used. Yeah, and I just came out with a big Polaroid collection, really.
Cool.
I'm very curious to know where all those wigs went. We had hundreds of them.
Yeah.
And I feel like Rob Tappert knows where they are.
In a box in his basement or something.
Yeah. Lord of the Rings. Maybe they went to the next Lord of the Rings movie.
They
Maybe.
could have.
All the
Return of the King.
extras.
Or maybe he's hanging on to them for the reboot.
That's what a smart man would do, because it's coming.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Tracy, do you have any tips or tricks for Xenites that cosplay as any of the characters from Xena Warrior Princess?
Yes. Get yourself an orange tan. I don't think Visiora still make this face and body makeup, but it came in a big, tall glass bottle. We used shade 005 and 006. So tan, cleavage.
Oh, yeah.
Go big on the hair, like Dolly Parton style. Especially if you be Aphrodite. Yeah. I'm very happy to advise anyone on Aphrodite or Livia, because I spent a lot of time with them, but yeah.
What was it like working with Alexandra Tidings?
Alex was charming. She was so sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was really lovely.
Big fan favorite. We love Alex. Yeah.
Yeah. She was like Aphrodite, really. She was just sort of full of love and light. And she was very sweet. I liked having Alex around a lot. I felt like she was there a lot. I don't know how many episodes she did those last seasons, but her hair was always a situation. I don't think we had any great
situation.
Not her personal hair, Aphrodite's. I don't think we had any really super great wigs, as I said at that time. So they always were
pretty epic hair. That was
I remember them just sort of being hard to manage or make look good, or
lots of hairspray.
Actually, she was blonde. I don't know why we just didn't use her hair. Maybe we did just use wigs when she was doing something comical, like Married with Fish Sticks and things like that. And I emailed Adrienne just to jog my memory on a few things, and we were talking about that Bacchanalia episode.
Yes, Heart of Darkness.
She said, I remember my costume being like a strip of bacon. So, that's a good cosplay tip if you want to get she had like a sash, like a beauty queen sash that went down like this.
Yes.
And it did look like a big giant strip of bacon. So if you wanted to do like a comedy Livia cosplay,
get some bacon.
Bacon, tan, cleavage.
Bacon, tans, and hairspray.
Yeah, a lot of hairspray.
Thank you. Love that. That's really helpful. We've got a few people that listen that genuinely are really good, really high caliber cosplayers.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool. I'd love to see their stuff sometime. I would. Yeah. More than happy to see me there. Livia cosplays. We did a lot of hair crimping too. Yeah. I'd forgotten that. And it seemed to be at random. Like some days we'd just be like, let's crimp.
It's a crimping day, guys.
And her hair would be like very crimpy on one side.
Yeah, I remember this. Yeah.
It was the Wild West in a lot of ways. Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Can I just ask you a question? Being a Kiwi on the set, I have no doubt there was Kiwi ingenuity going on day in and day out on the set. You guys were just like making it work with what you had. Do you have any particular memories in the makeup and hairstyling department of you guys kind of just doing that hard yakka and getting the impossible done?
Well, as I said before, in the makeup side of it especially, we had to make a lot of our own stuff. So we had a blood recipe and...
Ooh.
Oh, what is it?
We used to make our own blood. I could find out from Jane.
So cool.
We used to have to make up big vats of our own blood because we couldn't bring all that sort of stuff in.
Yeah.
It was too expensive. It was hard to ship. That's, just shipping liquids and all that sort of stuff. And so, we used to make our own. It was definitely a corn syrup base. There was coffee, like instant coffee.
Delicious.
Because that gives it depth of color. Delicious. It probably did taste okay. There probably would have been red food coloring. There was an ingredient called cabasil, which is like a fine ground up fiber. And like you're supposed to wear masks and all this sort of stuff for these things, but I don't remember getting the instructions.
It was the 90s, man.
The mask when you're blending in, finely ground fiberglass into the blood mixture. If I did get that note, I was probably just ignoring it. Oh, and soap. You have to put liquid soap so that's kind of like the surfactant, which allows it to stick to the skin, because otherwise it would just sort of
run off.
run off. You've probably all seen a show where the blood just looks a bit transparent and it doesn't really stick to the skin. Yeah. So you have to put that probably is actually the recipe.
That is so awesome.
Instant coffee. Cabasil you can't buy anymore. I've got a tiny little bit of it left in my garage. Red food colouring and a lot of liquid soap. So that was our blood recipe, and we used to have to make that up.
So you'd make like big barrels of it, and then
and then we made a lot of stuff. Our own mud, slime. Yeah, we were just making stuff.
Oh, how fun!
Yeah,
far out. Yeah, that really does underpin that hard yakka thing that you would have just had to create these recipes and make them all up, and it holds up. Like the blood work and stuff on Xena is excellent.
Yes.
One that immediately comes to my mind is To Helicon and Back. Like that one, just there's blood everywhere. It's horror. It's amazing. You guys did such a stellar job.
It's good.
Yeah.
We must have really nailed that blood recipe.
Yeah,
because you
100%.
could sort of play around with the colour and the texture of it a bit. There was a little bit of mad scientist going in there, which I probably enjoyed. What else did we make? I think that was probably about it. You know, it was back in sort of like grease paint days.
Yeah.
Or a lot of modern products came out. So,
yeah, wow.
we
Very
had,
awesome.
a massive stock of wigs, but when we got a new character, we'd just sort of go in there and Jane would be working out how to recycle this thing into this new character. And it wasn't like we were just constantly buying new things every time we got a new character. So that was some of the ways that we made do and made things look good on screen.
So did you guys just have like a massive warehouse full of like wigs and costumes and stuff like that? You just all go into there and go, okay, we'll take that one, restyle that and put on there. And so awesome, man.
We're collecting from all of our lovely guests their local secrets of coming to New Zealand. So a lot of our listeners are not from New Zealand. What's your local secret, Tracey?
Funnily enough, and this has got nothing to do with the show, it is those West Coast beaches that we shot on.
I agree.
Yeah, I think they're very, very magical, almost mythical. There's sort of a spiritual energy on those beaches. For anybody who hasn't been to New Zealand, obviously it's a fairly small island and we have a lot of coastline and there's beautiful white sand beaches all over the world, but on the West Coast we have black sand. There's a lot of iron oxide in the sand. They're not really, I mean, you can swim at them, but they're sort of rough and majestic, and there's a very unique energy on those beaches, especially if you can find your ways to the ones that are empty and you can walk. I still go out to Muriwai a lot, and there's a place that you can get into the beach where the four-wheel drives can go in and the horses, and you can look north. You just can't see the end of that piece of coastline. It's my goal to walk the whole thing one day, but I don't know how I'd get that done. But it just disappears into infinity, and it's so majestic and so beautiful.
Oh, I love that.
And it's 30, 40 minutes out of the city. So if you fly into Auckland, you can go to.
Got to do it.
I think they're very unique to New Zealand and this part of the country. Yeah.
That's what I'm going to do.
A good one. That's from someone who's travelled a lot. So,
So what are you working on at the moment?
So the majority of my time is taken up now with creative writing. I finished up in the film industry. I spent 15 years in LA and I came back to New Zealand in 2021 and sort of pivoted out of the film industry. So I do a lot of creative writing. I run a blog called Ginger Fiasco. I run a poetry design studio. I publish on Substack when I have things to say about women's beauty from time to time. But yeah, most of my time's taken up with creative writing and design.
Yeah, wonderful.
Different type of storytelling, but I love it. Yeah. Oh, I'm writing a novel too.
Oh, just casually. My goodness.
yeah, guys, just writing a novel.
Just casually, I'm writing a novel. That probably drops off the list because it's very, very difficult because I'm second drafting right now and it's a very hard thing. So I sometimes forget that I'm doing it. But yes, I've written a novel.
Wow.
And what a beautiful country to write a novel in. Like New Zealand just sounds like it's a writer's dream. Like it's just such a chill, amazing, beautiful place rather than the hustle and bustle of LA. It's like New Zealand's like...
Yeah, there's a lot of empty space. Yeah, physically, mentally, which I think has contributed. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So you mentioned a blog. So where can listeners follow you?
The best place is on Instagram and it's just my name, Tracey Henton. And there's a link tree on there which takes you to all the different adventures. So that's the best place to find me, yeah. And send me your cosplay photos.
Yes!
I do. I want to see Livia.
There you go. Xenites, send your cosplay photos. That's
Tracey,
awesome.
it has been so wonderful. It has been an absolute Xenite's fever dream to talk to you. You've had such incredible insights, and just to talk to a Kiwi that started on this show and you just launched yourself right into Hollywood and then had this incredible career. It's so humbling to get to hear your perspectives and your reflections on your time on that show. So I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for giving us your time.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you
thanks
both.
so much.
I loved it. I loved talking to you. I loved this perspective of just adoration and respect and this massive trip down memory lane. It's been a delight.
Oh, thanks, Tracey. Cheers.
Arahanui. Cheers, mate.
How special was it to have a conversation with someone who was responsible for painting some of the warriors we love?
Mate, so special. I feel like I need to just like breathe out still fully. So special. This show, right? Like there's so much that's captured in frame that is beautiful, that is stunning, that is magical. And there was so much for me in that conversation that made me realize, or maybe elucidate, like highlight that a lot of that artistry actually happens before they even get in front of the camera.
Yeah.
You know, the hair, their makeup, their wounds, their everything. Like it's just...
Yeah. Who knew that Warrior Sweat and Dirt was such works of art? But
that's true. That is true.
Yeah.
Like when we're talking about Adrian Wilkinson's Livia look, that bristled lips and all of that, like, you know, like it's really like...
Yeah. And she kept our heroes camera ready on set. Like, that is so cool.
So cool. She is obviously just such a talented legend of a Kiwi. It was such a wonderful conversation to be able to have and see behind all that skill. Tracey, I'm obsessed with her. I don't know what else to say other than I'm in awe and I'm obsessed.
Yeah. You know what I hope she does? Mm-hmm. She sends us a bobby pin.
What would you do with your bobby pin?
I'd use it as a money clip because cash is king.
Cash is king, baby. Oh my God. I only want it if Tracey can sign it. Because honestly...
Fucking hell. How the fuck is she going to sign a bobby pin?
If anyone can make that happen, it's her.
You have to go to like these places that sign rice and use their pen. So small.
It's people like her that have made this the show that we love so much, right? That we just can't get enough of.
Yeah, you can. You can really feel that New Zealand craft when you talk to Tracey.
You can. The hard yakka, the humbleness.
Yes. But seriously, I am like a little bit starstruck, man. Like that was really, really cool.
Same.
It's
Totally.
like a makeup artist of Xena. Like shit.
Yeah.
And most importantly, we have to mention,
of course,
tans, boobs, and big hair. Tits and teeth.
Tits and teeth.
How funny.
She's amazing. Do you know what, though? That, like, evoked something so deep in me when Tracey said that, because the other night we were having a barbecue.
Right.
And,
as you do being a Kiwi.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
And one of our neighbours came over, and I was telling her about this incredible journey I'm going on with this wonderful podcast and all the amazing people I'm getting to talk to. And when I said I'm doing it on Xena Warrior Princess, her eyes kind of like narrowed and kind of a little bit glazed, like she was pondering and she was trying to like recall, like remember, you know? And then her hands kind of like floated over her chest and she started like mindlessly going, like rubbing them in circles. And then
what
she
type
just
of fucking barbecue was this? Mate, should you be sharing this with people?
But then it was just so funny because then she just looked at me and I was just like, yes, you're remembering the right character, right? Like she's just being like the woman with those like headlight tits. And I'm like, yes, Xena.
Can I share a story as well? So back in the day, in the 90s, when I used to drink alcohol, right, I had a party at my house where we had a game. Every time we saw cleavage on Xena, we had to drink.
Oh, God.
Right.
Wow.
We put an Amazon
How are you
episode
alive?
on and we lasted 5 minutes. True story. True story, man.
Oh my God.
I was really sick.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't do this game anymore, guys. We have to turn this off. It's impossible.
Sounds like the hair and makeup department and the wardrobe really hit their mark that episode. Really nailed it.
I think so.
What makes this even more amazing when I think about it, about these makeup crew hitting their marks, is the fact that the show, Xena Warrior Princess in New Zealand, didn't actually come out until like a year and a half after it was coming out in America.
Yeah. I think that was the same here.
Yeah?
Yeah, I feel it was pretty delayed. I don't know if it was that much delayed, though.
They're probably pretty similar.
You know who would know? Mary D. Call Mary D.
Mary D. You're right. Call Mary D.
Call Mary D.
Okay.
Yeah, try it. Okay.
Hello,
Hey, g'day, Mary.
How are you?
I'm in bed. Good.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to call you so out of the blue again, as per usual. But it's
All right.
it's my usual Xena nonsense. Okay.
Yeah.
Me and Shell are confused. When did Xena come out in America versus in Australia?
September 4, 1995 in the US.
Okay.
Australia, December 14, 1996.
Yes.
God, you're a legend. This is why we call you.
Yes.
You know everything. You literally know everything. Thanks so much, Mary. We're sorry to bother you. We'll call you probably again in a few days.
Papa.
Bye-bye.
Oh, we love you, Mary. Thank you. I knew she'd know. She knows bloody every single date.
Well, she got it down to the literal letter, the literal date. How
Yeah.
excellent is she? How
She's like a
amazing.
walking Xena encyclopedia. She's a Xenopedia.
Yeah, she's a legend. And for anyone that hasn't heard Mary D's name before, all you have to do is jump your way on to her amazing time over site, Ozip.
Zip, man. Pretty much the most massive, of epic proportions website that's been looking after us Xenites since the very beginning.
Yeah.
Well, since 96. So
Indeed.
we got to get her on the show. I want to pick Mary's brain.
Who doesn't?
Uh-huh.
But just to like link back really quickly, like how mind-blowing is it though for the people like Tracey that is working on this, that's coming in. She's coming in season 5, maybe at best in New Zealand on screen. They've so far been out season 2 and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's coming in to this whole new fandangle thing, trying to keep the looks up.
Did you say Fandangle?
Fandangle. I do have to know, I've been like chomping the bit to ask you this. Mm-hmm. How did you feel about the fact that her favourite episode was Married with Fish Sticks?
Yeah, I can understand. Like, it took me a while to go. Like, when she first said it, I went, huh? And then from a makeup artist point of view, what a fun episode to work on.
Of course.
Like, it's so colourful. You would go, yeah, this is fun. It's different. It's not dark. It's not, using the same costumes and leather and lighting. It's just completely like Xena took an acid trip and went into
Barbie on crack.
Barbie on crack. And she just, so I can understand why she said that. That would be her favourite to work on. But yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, look, that episode is not notoriously known as the fan favourite.
I wonder what happened to the props, like that weird baby. But do you ever wonder where it is? Like, is it on display somewhere or just in a warehouse?
I have actually heard people take quite intense, the deep, penetrating, critical lens about how it's a reflection on, like, Gabrielle's grief of being a mother. And
What the
like,
fuck?
The little squid baby is actually Hope. And there's like...
Mate.
I think there's a lot of depth there to be mined. I think there is. I think
You think
should
there's
give
a
it more of
deep,
shot.
like it's Mulholland Drive type?
Oh my God, yes!
You reckon it's like a full-on thing? Yeah.
Yes.
Look, if that's what you need to get through that episode, great. I'm all for it.
No, I love it. I love it. And actually, you know what? Our favourite Donnie Duncan talks about one of his great shots where he straight ripped from Lolita.
I
Renee
love
O'Connor's
that.
like got her cute little heart sunnies
Yeah.
and like got her wee lollipop. So there's some great cinema in that episode as well as some great costumes.
And it's gorgeous colour.
Yeah.
It really is, yeah.
Exactly. And for us queers, it all circles back. We're just before Gabrielle's about to get married to a man. She snaps out of it because she sees a bunch of like vagina-ish correlated symbols that remind her of Xena.
Yeah. Yeah, we all picked up on that one. Yeah, so moving right along, she loved working on The Abyss.
Mm-hmm. And she actually gave us a really cool photo of her alongside one of the cannibals that she did the makeup of.
Can't wait to share that.
So cool.
I would personally love to work on that episode because it's so busy in the makeup with those cannibals. It'd be so fun creating that from nothing, you know.
Totally. And
Very
just
creative.
very creative, very complex.
Yeah. And how funny about the wig flying off story.
Like, her delivery of the line, you learn how to get that motherfucker to stay on.
Isn't that hilarious? Yeah, won't do that again, that's for sure. Bloody hell.
So funny. What a great human. What a hilarious, great human. And it was nice really to hear at the end of that story how like actually all the other makeup chicks she was working with like rallied around her and just immediately upskilled her. Yes. And it was just really cool to hear that. Everyone just working together to make it come out.
I love how she said when she got given the Polaroid camera and they'd use it just to stuff around in the trailer. And it's such a 90s thing to do, like totally. We used to have like photos. You just go take all these random photos, get them all developed and just stick them up everywhere. It was just...
I loved it.
Yeah.
So good. To me, that also spoke to like a really fun culture as well. That they're obviously all getting along, they're all good mates, and they're all like enjoying spending time together and wanting to like capture those memories. It's really cool.
Yeah, totally. Yep.
Yeah. But also Cheeky Devils production would have been stoked when they stopped having to pay for those Polaroids. One really famous thing that Tracey mentions is about how she came in and at the same time on season 5 there was a lot of people and movement around Lord of the Rings, and this is a really huge moment. A
lot of people leaving, hey, around that time.
Correct, exactly right. She's kind of coming in like exactly at the change of the guards for Xena Warrior Princess. Yeah, so one of the like big famous ones that moved on was Nyla Dixon, the costume designer of Xena Warrior Princess. So at the end of season 4, she moved on.
A lot of the crew as well, hey, a lot of the crew.
Yeah, a lot of the crew, you're exactly right. And I think the crew, a lot of them actually moved on after kind of like mid-season 5. After Liar Liar Hearts on Fire. Like that was the last one.
Is that right?
That a lot of them that had Lord of the Rings contracts moved on from Xena Warrior Princess.
What a time for the production.
What a massive, change of guard. And like you do see it and feel it in the show in different ways, but it's really cool because these Kiwis have built up all these skills to go on and have these like huge Oscar-winning careers, and then at the same time you're giving other Kiwis and other people really cool opportunities on this world-class show, Xena Warrior Princess. So
that's so true. I've never thought about it that way.
I think it's a pretty great moment, really, for the show and for New Zealand cinema.
Yep. I really enjoyed that interview. Just to get like an insight into behind the scenes, the blood, the recipes, all the stories. I really loved this interview. We're so lucky to have had Tracey on our show.
We are. Like this is the kind of interviews that I was just dreaming of when we first came up with this idea, Shao. Like, you know, the idea of getting to know these phenomenal New Zealanders that have gone out into the world and had these world-class careers. Yeah. And then to be able to like chat with them, get to know, like, and really hear that expertise. Like, she is so intelligent and she's so like, like obviously very, very skilled at what she does, and to be able to like hear her talk so chill and so open and so technical at the same time. I'm really like understanding the depth that like that Kiwi and Aussie undercurrent of talent that is creating the show, that is bringing Xena Warrior Princess to life.
And then they go off and have these great careers all over the world, but have these grassroots foundations to start their careers.
Yeah. No, it's so cool. Hey, all roads lead back to Xena Warrior Princess.
They bloody do. So there you go, Xenites, you hardcore nutballs. We hope you enjoyed that very fun interview. You can find us at xenawarriornutballs.com. We're on Instagram, Facebook. You can contact us on xenawarriornutballs@gmail.com. You can listen to us on Spotify, Podbean, Apple Podcast, and like and share and reach out to us. We love a good yarn chat. I think that's it.
Yeah, man.
All right, hardcore nutballs. Until next time, battle on, Xenites.
Ka kite anō, everyone.
And remember the ultimate wisdom from Tracey Henton herself. When in doubt,
You learn how to get that motherfucker on.
Wait, I've got an idea. Let me do one. And just as Xena thinks, when she's putting on her leathers after she's had a full roast dinner at Cyrene's Tavern,
You learn how to get that motherfucker on.